Hello everyone, I am Rupam and welcome you all to yet another episode of Intimacy Laws. And in this episode, we are going to learn about the whole notion of respect. So far, we have understood what is feelings and emotions, we have understood what is boundaries, we have understood what is energy, how to model the relationship, we have understood what is laws, codes, and rules in a relationship. And in this relationship, in this episode, we are going to learn about a very important concept, which is respect. Now, why this topic becomes so very important is particularly in the modern time, everybody seems to want respect. Not want respect, everybody seems to demand respect. For example, all the time there is a particular group who would say man should respect women. Often, as we have been discussing throughout the episodes, that in the modern time we have diluted the basic understanding of the words to a degree that those words do not make any sense anymore. People want everything in their life, and because they do not have it to get everything in their life, then nobody can get. It's just the amount of greed and envy that the people have that they dilute the meaning of the very basic word so that they can satisfy themselves that they have what they wanted. So, if you cannot go to the pyramid, you convince yourself that the nearby building that you are seeing is the pyramid. Any building that has got a triangular shape on its top is a pyramid. That's how you convince. That's not right. So that is the reason this topic respect becomes very, very important, because everybody wants and demands respect. So what is respect? Respect is acknowledging the unquestioning authority of an entity. Let me repeat. Respect is accepting unquestioning authority of an entity. Respect is accepting unquestioning authority of an entity. What is an entity? An entity is, of course, an individual or organization or system that is doing a specific function. Please remember, if you are playing multiple roles, such as role of a father, role of a teacher, role of a professional, role of a member of the housing society that you are living in, and various other roles. For example, you develop music, you paint, you write blogs, and you do various other works in your life. Then an entity is simply a single dimensional aspect of yours. So for example, because respect is acknowledging unquestioning authority of an entity, if you are a great singer, I would respect you as a singer. If you are a great sportsman who has achieved a lot in life in this sports, who understands a certain sports, then I would respect you as a sportsman. If you teach well, I would respect you as a teacher, or I would respect you for your teaching. I cannot respect you. Why? Because by definition, whenever you talk about an entity, you have to define what the entity does. So, respect is accepting unquestioning authority of an entity. So, I respect my teacher for him being my teacher and for his teaching. I respect Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi for his contribution to the subject of peace. I respect Subhash Chandra Bose for his awareness of freedom in the British Raj of India. I respect Alexander the Great for his understanding of the war strategies and situation. I respect the writers of the Bible for bringing their wisdom into something like a holy Bible. I respect Josephus for dedicating his entire life in documenting the history of the Jews in the time of the Romans. So you see, when we use the word respect, it is not for the entirety of an individual. An individual functions in multiple different ways. So whenever we talk about respect, we are talking about certain functioning of the individual which has to be mentioned well. I cannot say I respect Mahatma Gandhi or M.K. Gandhi or Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi because there are aspects of his life which doesn't need to be respected. I can't say I respect Subhash Chandra Bose because there are aspects in his life that he has not excelled in which doesn't need the respect. I can't say I respect Alexander the Great because there are aspects in his life which are not optimal, which were not good enough, and therefore they cannot be respected. So, whenever you use the word respect, you have to define that entity. That is, you are respecting an individual with respect to the context, the skill. Now, what is meant by authority and why authority is needed? You see, the world is so complex. We are always surrounded by different type of people, environmental conditions, situations which are changing every second. And we are having to always take decisions in our brain, judgment in our brain. While crossing the road, you have to take a decision. While buying your food from a counter, you are taking a decision. While walking in the footpath, you are taking a decision. You are constantly making a decision. So whenever you are buying a $5 bill to, let's say, a food shop counter, you are trusting the food shop counter that against that $5 bill, you will be given the food that you are seeking. So, understand that we are surrounded by so much complexity and having to make so many decisions in life every seconds, that if we do not create some rules of those decisions, then our brain will be exhausted taking the decisions, right? So therefore, what we do is we use a simple strategy. If somebody has learned something, investing his entire life, we respect that individual for that context or that domain, such that whatever the individual teaches, we can follow. We can verify later on, but we can follow. So, when I say that I respect Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi for his contribution to peace, then automatically, whenever it comes to understanding any context of peace, peaceful movement, peaceful theology, I can simply read about his work. I can simply understand his theology. I can simply follow his direction of life. I don't have to take what he preached, but I can take his life as a model and I cannot question. Now, you respect the constitution of your country, which means that you are bound as a citizen to follow the norms of your constitution without questioning. You don't ask why free speech should exist, because your constitution says that there is a free speech. You accept it if you are respecting the constitution. So whenever you respect an entity, you don't question the entity, you follow the entity. Alright, so respect is unquestioning acceptance of the authority of an entity. The authority means the entity has the last word, and acceptance means without questioning, you are accepting that. So you can never say, I respect Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. You have to define that entity. I respect Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi for his contribution to peace. I respect Albert Einstein for his contribution to physics. I respect Isaac Newton for his contribution to physics and mathematics. So, when we respect an entity, our brain's decision making becomes very simplified. So whenever we say we respect Isaac Newton for mathematics and for science, whenever we read his laws and formulas, for example, V is equal to ma that Isaac Newton has given, we don't question that. We think, yeah, this law applies because he has spent his entire life for that law. When we talk about E is equal to mc square, we don't question how did it come. That came over a period of 40 years. Einstein invested his entire life onto that. Therefore, when we respect an entity, we make our life simple, because then our decisions don't question, then our decisions don't get confused, then our inferences don't get confused, our understanding don't get confused. Understand, a respect has to be earned and retained. Respect is not absolute. Say, if you respect me for what I am teaching to you in the context of the relationship, then I have to understand that you may follow whatever I am saying blindly, and then I have to become very responsible. I have to become very careful with whatever I teach, whatever I give you, whatever knowledge I bring or education I bring, because I have to understand that if you are respecting my teaching, then you may adopt those teaching into your life. So I have to become accountable. I cannot just take the credit of success if my educational classes bring some positive changes. I have to also take the responsibility of any failure. Tomorrow, one of you may come into the channel and tell me, this video, I learned this, I tried to execute this, but I did not succeed. This was the problem I faced. It's not blame, but I have to be self accountable. I have to then dig deeper into that subject and see if there is any mistakes that is being made, if there is any aspect that is being left out, and I have to accept the onus of the failure and then correct. So understand, respect has to be gained, and it takes years and decades, because human brain just cannot simply start following somebody just like that. It has to get convinced. For example, even while listening to these videos, you definitely go and do an online search. Who is Rupam Das? Rupam Das Aculi Labs, Rupam Das Life First, Rupam Das Intimacy. You will read about my blogs, you will read about my work, you will read about my work, research work. And once you are convinced that I may teach or people have succeeded being taught by me, or that I go deeper into the subject, if only you convince yourself, then only you will start respecting me for teaching you the subject of intimacy. And when you start respecting me, that respect is temporal, that is at that moment of time. It is the onus is then on me to respect your respect and become better, bring more value to your life, and not to trash shit, not to talk trash. So, when you respect an authority, the onus is on the authority to earn that respect every day. It is not absolute. Now, you must respect your government, because the government makes policies that are beneficial for the public life. So when the public respects the government, the onus is on the government to take accountability of that respect and do things that are beneficial for public interest. For example, the government should be working towards ensuring peace of the state and the country. The government should work towards ensuring the safety and security of the state and the country. The government should work towards internal peace and tranquility of the state and the country. The government should work towards making the trade and investment easy in the state and the country. The government should work towards increasing and improving the employment. The government should work towards having energy reserve. The government should work towards food safety of its citizens and many other work. The government cannot demand respect. The government has to earn the respect. Let me repeat, nobody can demand respect. People has to earn respect. If I am able to teach you something that makes your life better, then you will respect me in order to make your brains work simple on that subject. Let me repeat, if I make your understanding of the world better in the subject of intimacy, then you will respect me as a teacher teaching the subject of intimacy, because that respect is not for me, it is for you, because it makes your brain processes simpler. It gives comforts to your brain. It tells your brain that I am giving you something which makes it easy for you to understand and take the decisions. So, if you are respecting me as a teacher on the subject of intimacy, that respect is not for me. That respect is for your brain's comfort. And that is why I cannot demand respect. If I am valuable, then you would respect my teaching because that is beneficial for your brain. How can I demand something from you which is beneficial for you? Are you getting it? If I'm teaching something which, of course, you look into larger purposes, and we all want to live behind a better world, because when I will be older, if I see too many destabilized people around me, if I see too much of youth population in the turmoil, then my old age is not going to be meaningful. I'll be in pain. And my death, whenever I'll be progressing towards death, is going to be very, very sad. And after 20, 30, 40 years, I'll not be able to dedicate as much of energy and as much of resources. I'll not have enough energy. So I am investing, as I said yesterday, in yesterday's episode, that we have to be functional in such a way that there is a short-term gain and then there is a long-term gain. There is a short-term purpose and then there is a long-term purpose. So I am investing my time and energy so that when I am older and unable to give this energy, if I see few peaceful people around me, my old age, my journey towards the death is going to be easier. So this investment is for a purpose. It is not selfless. Alright, the time, the energy, the study that I am doing, it is for my future, because it is me who has to take the accountability so that when I die, that death becomes better, that is meaningful. My journey towards the death becomes meaningful. Right? So I have to respect that journey. That is eventual truth. It is an authority. I can't question. I can't question that my death will come. That will eventually come. So I have to respect the fact that I will die one day. And then I have to take the accountability to do what I at this moment understand would be required to make that death simpler. So respecting the fact that I will die one day, I am making my brain processes easy, isn't it? So when you respect my teaching, you are making your brain processes easy. Can death demand respect? No, that is an authority. It doesn't have to demand respect. Same way, a government cannot demand respect. It has to become so valuable that people simply respect, because nobody wants to live a turmoil life. Nobody wants to get into conflict. Nobody wants to protest against the government. If the government is good, it is getting better, it is working towards the citizens, then nobody is going to challenge the authority of the government. But if the government is indulged in corruption, is indulged in infighting, is indulged in turmoils with the external world, if the trade and economy is collapsing, if the security is collapsing, if the food is depleting, if there is not enough energy, then the government simply cannot say that citizens has to demand me. The government has to become valuable, prove itself, not one time, every day. If I respect my death, I have to work towards that every day. So, let me repeat again, respect is unquestioning, accepting the unquestioning authority of an entity. An entity can be an individual in certain domain, or an institution or organization. So, I respect an entity to make my life simpler, to make my brain decision easier. That is, respect is my benefit. Now, whatever is your benefit, that cannot be demanded by people. Nobody has to demand your comfort. Now, there are certain things which are to be respected without them having to earn that. That is given. The respect, I have to respect a man's honor. I have to respect a female's dignity. I just cannot go to the female and grab her breasts. Can I? No. The female doesn't have to earn that dignity. Even if she is a prostitute, even if she is a call girl, I have to respect her dignity. It is on to me, because once I start respecting the dignity of the female and don't question it, it makes my life simpler. It saves me out from many of the troubles that I can fall into, many of the wrong things that I can do. So, respecting the dignity of a female helps me make my life better. I accept the authority of the dignity of the female. What is that dignity? You understand it, or else I'll come to another class. The honor. I have to respect the honor of a man, the shoulder, his decisions, his existence. Why? If I respect the honor of a man, I will not get into the conflict with the man, hurting that man's male ego, and that would safeguard me from any kind of animosity coming from the ego of that man. Alright, so if I am respecting the honor of a man and dignity of a female, dignity of a girl, they are gaining nothing. I am respecting, my brain is making my life easier. So if anything that is making my life easier, how can somebody else demand it? No. You can't demand respect. The only person who does demand respect is who is extremely low, who is a manipulator, who wants power without accountability, who is so low that he or she knows that I have no value into this world. He or she wants to feel respected just to feel themselves. By definition, you cannot demand respect because respect is for an individual's tool to help his own brain to get better, to get comfortable, to take less decisions. Now, for example, when somebody says man should respect woman, there is no should. Respect has to be earned, and earned in a specific domain. I cannot question the dignity of a girl or a manner of or honor of a man. I cannot question the right to be free, right to breathe of an individual. I cannot question the right to exist of an individual. But I must definitely not accept if an individual is trying not to respect the other individual should exist. It is then the responsibility of that individual to keep demanding for the respect. I respect the dignity of a girl. So, respect is an accountability. So, the girl has to take the accountability that she becomes so valuable. Her body language, thought process, eyes, overall philosophy becomes so good that in no way I can consider even for a second that she might be a prostitute. It is her accountability. My respect is the authority's accountability. Your respect is the authority's accountability. Let me simplify again. Respect is accepting unquestionably the authorities, a certain entity's authority. Authority of an entity means that whatever the entity suggests, you rather do to make your brain simple. But the accountability, not responsibility, accountability, which means it has to take the accountability of the failure onto his shoulders. Now, when somebody says, respect me, if I say, for example, say respect me, then I am telling you, follow each and everything that I say, that I ask you to do, that I expect you to do. And in that case, you even do not know what I am thinking to you. You do not know what are the other aspects of my life. So you cannot respect me. Respect is your choice. Yes, you must respect my honor the way I respect your honor. Yes, a girl must respect a man's honor the way a man must respect a girl's dignity. Then it becomes the accountability of that man to make sure that he is an honorable man after all. It is the accountability of the girl, therefore, to remain as a dignified girl. Just because she is a girl, she is not going to get respected for her dignity without anything in exchange. If I am respecting you, your honor as a man, then you must be an honorable man, and then you must do what an honorable man should do. Then it is not my duty to teach you what an honor for a man is. You must learn it. If I am respecting your dignity, then I'm not going to teach you dignity, because by definition you are authority. Your dignity is an authority. So it is your accountability to maintain that dignity. And because you are accountable, you have to become responsible to learn every notion of that dignity. If you don't, then that respect doesn't exist. Government will be respected when it functions for the benefit of the public. It is going to lose that respect the moment it starts functioning for itself, making money, corruption, failing out in the policies. So, when the citizens of a country or a state is respecting a government, the government has to become accountable. And that accountability comes with understanding the subject of public benefit. The public is not going to teach the government. Same way. Now, why this topic becomes important is nowadays a particular group says, you must respect women. No. No. You cannot respect even God. You have to respect God for your spiritual endeavor. You cannot respect God for your intellectual endeavor. The same way, you cannot respect knowledge for your spiritual endeavor. So the God Himself is not the absolute authority. A human cannot be above God by logic. Can one be? One cannot be, right? And let's say we respect women, which means that I'm not going to take any decision in my life. Whatever the woman does, I will follow. Remember, when we respect, we don't listen, we follow. Respect is for following, it's for my brain to get simplified. So when I respect a woman, I will follow the woman, right? So if the woman is not going to work, I will not go to work. If the woman is putting makeup, I must also put makeup, I must also put lipstick. If she is keeping long hair, I must keep long hair. If she is wearing a skirt, I must wear a skirt. If she is not cooking, I must not cook. If she is cooking, I too must cook. Can you do everything that a woman does in her life? We learned about individuality yesterday. The two cells are to function completely differently for both of them to be functioning together. A man cannot even pee the way a woman pees. How can a man respect a woman? Or vice versa. So, always remember, information is not God, it is dog. Information is devolved form of education. The same way, ignorance is not a bliss, it is a right. And so, one who says respects me must be completely disrespected. Let me repeat, it's a paradox. One who demands respect must be disrespected. One who demands respect for the dignity should be completely neglected. Why? Because you cannot demand a function which is somebody's brain's way of decision making, what you are going to do with that respect. It is a burden. Respect is a burden. If you are respecting my teaching, I have to become accountable. It's a burden. I have to be super conscious about everything I say, everything I do. During these classes, I have to study, read, experiment, follow, adapt into my life. It's a burden. What am I going to do with that respect? I need that respect. I'll demand that respect only when my life has no meaning. Because then, based on that respect, I'll try to value myself. If 10 rich people are with me, then of course I have some value because the rich people are with me. Life doesn't work in that way. Alright? You don't become something when people give you something. You live for the honor of yourself as a man and dignity of your own dignity as a girl. You don't demand. What person demands? What is demand supply? What do you demand in general from your parents? One which you do not have, right? You demand chocolate. Do you demand hair from your parents as a child? No. Do you demand oxygen from planet Earth? No, you have it. So what do you demand? You demand something that you don't have. So, when somebody demands respect, what does that mean? That person doesn't have it. So one who doesn't have respect, it means self-respect. A person who doesn't have self-respect, by the law, he or she doesn't have a self. It is a complete thing. It's a completely dead biological thing. So when an individual can understand this self, respect this self, one has a self-respect. If you have respect, you don't have to demand it from the other. I hope you understood the entire concept of respect, this class. Next time, when somebody says, please respect me, tell. One demands something which one doesn't have. You do not have respect. And if you do not respect yourself, then it is responsibility, because if one doesn't respect himself or herself, one's brain is in disassociation with the body. It's a dead. If somebody who is demanding respect, if their own brain is not in symphony with their body, then who else will be in symphony with them? So, always remember, stupidity kills. Information is a default form of education. Information is not God, it's dog. We are not living in information age. Humanity has always lived in education. Those who are incapable of educating themselves and the others thrive for information. It's a default form of education. The same way, demanding respect is a shameless way of stating to the world, look, here I am having no self-respect. And one who doesn't have any self-respect, by definition, neither his honor matters nor her dignity matters, nothing else matters. Because you have rejected yourself, nobody else is going to accept. That's all for this class, and that's all for this discussion. This is Rupam again, founder and CEO of Aculi Labs Private Limited, creator of Lifers Project. You can also go to lifers.com website and check out a lot of other resources, blogs, lifers.com website where you can check out other resources. You can also find the audio podcast of this classes there, and you can also find a test section where you can assess your various romantic and mental health aspects in the website. Also, I'm happy to share the book Intimacy Laws for Men, strictly not for girls. The Birth of the Luger, which is the volume 1, is just released and is available in the Amazon. Okay, we know short-term gain, long-term gain. These classes will give me peace in the at the time of death. Short-term, it will produce something, right? So you can get the book from Amazon Kindle, and it will also be available in the Amazon paperback, but at an expensive cost. You can order from us, pre-order the paperback. The link is given in the description below and in the first comment. I hope this class, and I sincerely do believe that you are going to listen till the end, till this point, understand, take note, think, and become better in your relationship dynamic and understanding of the world. That's all for this episode. Thank you for your time, emotion, energy, and your willingness to learn, educate yourself, and to take control of your life. You are contributing towards a more comfortable, a better society and the world for tomorrow, and I sincerely thank you for that. This is Rupam again. See you in the next episode. Have a great weekend. Thank you.